Hello, everyone. My name is Mary Howard Leppo, and I am an integrative nutrition health coach specializing in perimenopause and menopause, but I also help others as space and time permits. So today is part two of supplements, and I'm going to talk more specifically about those that we know support women's health. So there are some supplements that I'll talk about in part three for overall health, regardless of whether you're male or female. There's some overlap with that, but today I'm just going to talk about the women's health specific ones. Few things. This is not an exhaustive list, and these are just some common ones. And the other thing is, I'm not going to go really deep into each specific one. I'm just going to kind of talk about what they're used for. It will be on you to research these and then talk about them with your healthcare provider. Because as we know from part one, just because they're over the counter doesn't mean that they're safe. And it doesn't always mean that they're safe or a good idea for each individual person based on your health history and based on any medications that you may be taking. So always run that by your health professional before taking one. So that being said, going into women's health specific, one of them that I wanted to talk about is maca. And this is a root vegetable that comes out of South America. And there's a couple different types. Some people swear by one type or the other, like red or, what have you. For me personally, when I took it, I didn't really notice the difference between one or the other. I do like this one actually in my smoothies or in some oatmeal mixed up in there. And that can help with different kinds of hot flashes and just kind of overall kind of symptoms and that sort of thing. It also, I use a powder form for that. It also comes in a capsule. So just kind of be mindful that you're taking it in the mode that's best for you to take it if you choose to do that. Another one is Vitex, or also known as chasteberry. And that can be for stress, breast tenderness, cramps. Same thing with red clover. That's good for menstrual support. Black cohosh can be for hot flashes, cramps, all over women's health support for perimenopause. That's a big one that a lot of people talk about and take. Shatavari is an Ayurvedic herb. It's asparagus root, and that can help a lot if you're having issues with estrogen dominance. When I was having a lot of issues with some endometriosis, which is an estrogen dominant as well as a genetic condition. That helped me a lot make my cramps less severe. So I basically could go to work and function. So I no longer need that now because I no longer have a uterus. So I'm not having periods. So I no longer take that one. But it's, one that may be worth exploring for some people. Ashwagandha can be taken for stress and anxiety. For me personally, ashwagandha never really did a whole lot for me, but I know quite a few people that swear by it. So just be mindful. A lot of these supplements too are trial and error. What works really well for one person may not do squat for you, and just kind of know those things going in. Shazandra is another one that's good for estrogen dominance. It can have other women's health cycle properties to it. And then you've got different kinds of herbal blends, like blends. So those are things that you might find for, just an overall women's health herbal blend. You might find overall like a liver support blend. So if you're having issues with estrogen dominance, supporting your liver is very, very important because your liver is recycling that estrogen and kind of keeping it in your body. So instead of filtering excess out. So those are some blends. And then there's other over-the-counter blends that are a little bit more mainstream that, you might see at Sam's or Costco, Walmart, things like that. Estroven. And basically what that's got in it is what we call the phytoestrogens, which are basically plant-based estrogens. It does have a lot of soy in it. So if you're someone that is sensitive to soy or is trying to avoid soy, just know that that is in there and may or may not be good for you depending. Amberin is another one. They make a perimenopausal one and they make one for menopause as well, or postmenopause. And that was another one that I took and I was having a lot of problems with painful periods and whatnot prior to hysterectomy. I did like the perimenopause one. But again, I don't really need that anymore. So those are other options that are out there. And something else I want to discuss here too, there are some over-the-counter hormones that are out there that come in creams and sprays. And it's important to note that you still want to talk about that with your healthcare provider just to make sure with your health history and any medications, it's not going to interfere or have any negative reactions. It's also important to note that even though they are over the counter, they are homeopathic grade. So it's going to take a lot more usage of those in order to get the result that if you were doing prescription grade hormone therapy. And those come in like Progest, Progestiki, Progesterol are over-the-counter versions of progesterone that are out there. I used to use Progest a lot, and until it didn't really work anymore. So now I'm on prescription progesterone. So just know that they're out there. There's some out there too for estriol as well as a phytoestrogen cream. Just know that they're out there. Again, please talk to your healthcare provider if you want to use those. Progesterone tends to be a little bit more calming to the nervous system. It can help someone with sleep. Also note that sometimes women that start it and it ends up not working for them. Hormone replacement therapy is not appropriate for everyone, and nor does it work well for everyone. So again, worth talking about. And again, if you've got any certain health histories, blood clot histories, or things like that, please talk to your healthcare provider before taking any kind of over-the-counter estrogen therapy. So that's a very short list of some common women's health supplements or supplements that are specific to women's health that you can talk about with your healthcare provider and try. Also note that different brands are also different as well. So a black cohosh from this brand may have a completely different effect than a black cohosh from another brand. And it's all about the formulation. It can be expensive because it is a lot of trial and error. So be mindful of those things too. And again, like I said on my other video, or at least I hope I said in my other video, part 1, you cannot supplement your way out of bad nutrition and bad lifestyle. So all of these things are meant to support and complement good nutrition and a healthy lifestyle. Just putting that out there. So if you've tried any of these good or bad experiences, I would love to hear from you. Please drop me a note in the comments section. And if you need to contact me and want to talk privately, my information will be coming up shortly. I hope to hear from you soon. And next week for supplements part 3, we will talk about overall health supplements, which will include some vitamins and minerals, and that will be good for both men and women. So hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was informative to you, and I will talk to you again really soon. Bye-bye.